Hey everyone, welcome inside CSTV's Game Room. Adam Zucker here with Brian Jones and Brian Curtis, recapping another crazy week in the SEC. And we start with one that the Georgia fans are going to be really pumped about. In Jacksonville, they had lost 15 of the last 17 against Florida there, but that's because no one knew about Knowshon Moreno.
They know about him now, baby.
188 yards, 3 touchdowns in the game against the Gators, going up and in multiple times. It's 21-17. They're up 28-24 when Matt Stafford goes deep. And there's Mikey Henderson
Mikey
making
likes
the catch. He does. Right over the defensive back shoulder. Mark Richt gets green.
Getting slimed on Nickelodeon.
He gets slimed, is right. Georgia holds on for the big win. And now early in this game, when Moreno had his first touchdown, the whole Georgia team came out and celebrated on the field with him. What'd you think of that?
I thought that was odd. That was unusual. They get the big score, and then all of a sudden, everyone from the sideline shows up there on the goal line to celebrate with Knowshon and the rest of his teammates on the offensive side of the ball. That was a little different.
Well, after they had beaten Vanderbilt, Mark Richt was upset that his team had gone at midfield and stomped on the logo. So kind of as a punishment, if you will, he told them before the game that after we score, if you want to celebrate, you go into the end zone and you take the 30-yard penalty that they eventually got to punish him. But basically, Mark Richt was saying, bring it on. If this is what we're going to have to do, we'll take the 30-yard penalty.
Yeah, and Florida's defense, they were beat up, and it looked like, they had trouble holding on against Kentucky last week, and so they were a beat-up team. I think the Kentucky Wildcats were a beat-up team also.
Well, I was
surprised.
surprised.
Some of the other scores
I was surprised that they were able to run on that Georgia was able to run on the Florida defense.
And look what Mississippi State was able to do against the Kentucky defense.
And I think it was a lot of this was emotional and mental. I mean, you play this game 10 times. I think Kentucky wins 7 or 8 of them. But coming off 2 big games against LSU and then Florida, there had to be a letdown. You got to watch out for Sylvester Croom. He's slowly building the program down there. Dixon, their running back, is an absolute stud. Remember, they went on the road earlier this season to beat Auburn.
And tip your hat to Croom, because after that defeat at West Virginia, they looked horrible, and they got it done on the road versus the Wildcats.
And as for Auburn, they're winning at home in this one against the team from Mississippi. Ole Miss really just not looking too good. Worst start since 1980. The Tigers taking this thing 17-3. Brad Lester, 101 yards rushing and a touchdown in that one. And meanwhile, some other scores to get to from the SEC. Arkansas behind 4 touchdowns from Darren McFadden, winning 58-10 over Florida International. And Vanderbilt taking it 24-13. But the real story here is Earl Bennett, their wide receiver, just a junior, guys, just a junior, and he's first all-time in receptions in the SEC. And I know we were talking about it on some of our other shows, the fact that Vanderbilt, really, they have to throw a lot.
Yeah, they're usually playing from behind, so that gives him a lot of opportunities. But don't take anything away from the young man. He's still a talent, as you mentioned, only a junior. If he comes back, can you imagine how gaudy that number is going to look next year after his senior year?
And the most gaudy number was he's averaging over 12 yards per catch. That's a lot for a receiver.
And he used to catch them from Jay Cutler. As a professional career going on right now. Our professional careers continue next week from inside CSTV.
Maybe.
We hope. Brian Curtis, Brian Jones. I'm Adam Zucker. We'll see you next week.